This week 8 waiver wire and Thursday night football props edition of the Steffi Smalls Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with code SMALLS. The NHL is back, and so is the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Join Ryan and Joel as they break down the biggest game storylines, awards, and best bets throughout the season. Let's yap.
Steffi turns balls, betting it all on the power bottom falls top drop the football. Like hopes they've been teasing, they're missing the fall season. ACL twisted, bank account freezing, but Smalls cut the shots like some Oracle reading. Leaderboard rising while the slot machine's ringing. She's slinging player stats like Nostradamus. $100 bills raining down upon us.
That song really is a banger. I'm a little biased, but it is a banger. Happy week 8. Happy fantasy football day on the Steffi Smalls Show. I'm your host, Steffi Smalls. We're going to talk some waiver wire, pump and dump, do some cap and yap, talk player props for Thursday night football. My friend Sam Wagman's coming on. Samuel, how's it going? I think you told me not to call you Samuel, but I already did. So we're off to a good start here.
I go with what I'm named at this point. I have so many nicknames that I just smile and nod and move along with my day because nobody calls me Sam anymore. So yeah, I'm good. As you are, fighting off a splitting headache.
Yeah.
And the urge of getting sick, but we must power through, for extracurriculars. But it's a good week.
Tis the season of getting sick. I told myself, obviously, I'm not really a water drinker. And this is the only water I got really down in the last.
It's the only time I've ever seen you drink water in my life.
Yeah, I'm really, guys, I'm really doing my best here. It's not going great. But it is. Do you have any thoughts about week 7? Any final things you want to get off your chest before we talk about week 8?
Yeah, Jameson Williams is dead to me. I needed just one singular catch from the guy to win the home league matchup.
Yeah.
Just I had to stay up until the end of that game, and it just brutally broke me. So, yeah, he's dead to me.
Yeah, I really wish I didn't invest as much as I probably did into him.
Nah.
But I am happy I stashed Rice. I thought it wasn't going to go out as well as it did, and it did. Granted, of course, the matchup was beautiful, but I'm pretty happy with where I did stash him because it's absolutely saving my ass in some leagues, I think.
I mean, he just looks so good, and I think the Chiefs are just extremely happy to throw the ball to him more than anyone else on their team. I think what we saw this weekend from them is just going to be what we see from them the entire season with Rice. He's going to get the 25-30% target share.
Sure.
Everyone else is just going to have to fight for the remaining targets, and that's just how it's going to be. I mean, the Chiefs are kind of just this well-oiled machine. They do what works, and Rice has been proven to work.
Indeed. There's a lot of teams on bye this week. Arizona, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, Detroit, Los Angeles Rams, Seattle. How do you approach bye weeks? I was just trying to look at my lineup. Some of my teams, it's kind of a lost cause. Like, it's just going to be like in some of my dynasty leagues, I'm kind of just going to have to hope for the best.
Yeah, I think in terms of dynasty, like, it's definitely really tough because we're at the point of the season where we've kind of seen what we're going to see from a lot of our rookies at this point. You might have just a bunch of marginal guys on your bench that you draft in the second, third round of your dynasty drafts. And now those guys just don't seem startable. Luther Burden, prime example, guy that we thought would be a really big contributor at this point. Thought he might get a post-bye rookie bump last week. Didn't happen. So, we're kind of stuck with a lot of guys like that who we kind of just have to fit in spots now in this, with one of these bye-mageddon weeks. I think redraft is a little bit simpler. Hopefully people stocked up at running back. There's been a lot of chances to get running backs off waiver wires, the Arizona situations, the Chargers situations of the past few weeks. So hopefully you stocked up there, but it's kind of slim pickings there as well. I mean, I really only have two guys, maybe three, that you could pick up this week. Devin Neal is up there for me. Saints rookie running back to replace Kendre Miller. Still not, 100% chance that, Alvin Kamara doesn't get traded. until the trade deadline passes. I
He
would
said he
assume
was
that
going to
he's
go get a
possibly-
pina colada if he gets traded. He
Do you,
doesn't
but
want
do
to
you
go
believe
anywhere.
him? Do you believe him?
I do believe him.
Okay.
He's an example of someone I actually do believe.
Okay. Well, they still were putting Kendre Miller into play a decent amount, and I like Devin Neal. They used a day 3 pick on him, but Kyle Monangai in Chicago, DeAndre Swift looks really good, but Monangai keeps getting work. I think this is a great chance to sell high on DeAndre Swift if you want to sell high on him, but Monangai is going to keep getting work. His snap share was up to around 30% last week, and then Brashard Smith. Kareem Hunt goes down with an expected high ankle sprain. This is probably the big one. Smith got pretty much every single carry in mop-up duty. He had 19 touches this past week. That's a lot for a guy that's already locked down the receiving back share for probably the best team in the NFL right now. That's not the Indianapolis Colts. So I think Brashard Smith is probably my top running back that I would look for on waivers. I think a lot of people picked him up a few weeks ago and then dropped him once they saw he didn't really get anything. And I'm mostly speaking about myself.
Sure. Brashad, he's on mine as well. I realized that, he's coming off his highest snap share of the season and it came with a blowout win, and that's fine. But I think especially in some of these deeper leagues, if he's still available, he is obviously a solid smash. He'll probably continue to just carve out a role for himself within this Kansas City offense. I'm with you on that he was down for me. I think 2, if you can still find Tyjae Spears, I know it's not sexy because of how bad that team is, but unfortunately, that's just where we're at in the season, where you're going to have to go and pick up some of these guys on teams that are very disgusting and gross. Yes, the Titans are disgusting and gross, but he is available in 29% of Yahoo and ESPN leagues. I have beef with Sleeper right now. I'm not even, I don't know what the ownership looks like over there. I am mentioning for another week in a row, he stacked another efficient week, 8 touches, 40 yards from scrimmage. He's a solid flex option right now. Like, again, these are going to be the week when there's this many teams on bye. And if Pollard were to go down, he's a good option to still have.
Hey, if I had started him over Jameson Williams, I would have won that home league matchup. There you go.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's all you need. 5-6 points to kind of just get through the week from some of these, very, very marginal guys, especially at running back.
And then Woody Marksu, where are you at with that backfield? Because, he had 61% of the snaps, majority of the RB carries. It's like, yeah, but I don't know how efficient they're really being on the ground here. It's like 35 yards for a touchdown. Okay, cool. Is that supposed to get me excited?
Nothing about that offense gets me excited right now, except for one of their other rookies who I will bring up soon. But I don't know what to think. Like, Nick Chubb didn't look great on the ground. Woody Marks looked positively awful on the ground. I'm not sure there's anything about this offense that makes you want to start a running back from them, even though they're cheap and they're pretty easy there. They rank 30th in pass block win rate and run block win rate. There's just nothing there with this offensive line that makes you feel like they can have a successful running game. I think they'll probably continue to use him in the passing game. It kind of just looked painful watching Nick Chubb try and split out wide and kind of go out of the backfield for dump offs last night. He just looks so slow. Marks looked a lot better from that range, and they're not using Dario Gomboale as much as they were earlier in the season on third downs and that long down distance. They used a lot of Woody Marks. Pretty much the entire second half was Woody Marks, which was really nice. Marks would be my guy there. If he's still out on waivers, you kind of have to pick him up because he's as close to starting running back as you're going to get on waivers right now. But it's not a pretty picture.
Any thoughts and feelings on any other running backs? The only thing I'll mention right now, and it pains me to say this, but we can't get around it. It's a dump for me, and I just dropped him in one of my redrafts. Treveyon Henderson. It's just not happening. I don't know if he made out with Vrabel's wife. I don't know if this is like a hazing tactic. I don't know. There's really no reason why. Like, Stevenson, I think, could fumble every single play, and it's going to remain unchanged. It's just how it is. That's what's happening in New England. Like Stevenson's even like, you look at some of the metrics, he's having one of his worst career years too. It just doesn't matter. This is how it is. So I think cutting ties with Henderson, it's fine at this point.
I think, it kind of depends on the context. If you're able to stash him, I think you kind of have to, just because we can't afford to let running backs languish on the waiver wire that long. But yeah, there's something there, like something that's under the surface that we're just not seeing. I've spoken to a few of my friends who are Patriots fans, and the Terrell Jennings thing came out of nowhere. It kind of seems to be the fact that he's not pass blocking well. That's the only thing that people can come up with, which is weird because he was graded as pretty much the best pass blocker in this class. It's not like, an irrational, Vrabel doesn't like him because he went to a bad college or anything either. They both went to Ohio State. So there's nothing there. It could just be that Josh McDaniels is a psychopath as well, which I think is valid. But yeah, there's something we're not seeing with Henderson that is on the other side of the glass from what we're allowed to see as fans and analysts here. And I'm just not sure that it's going to happen anytime soon. But at the same time, Ramondre is, key to fumble or due to fumble and does get hurt and nicked up and banged up a little bit. So you kind of have to hope.
Out. Like I really thought we were going to get something more. I didn't drop him everywhere, but where I had to, like I have to, and it's just not going to happen. I don't have an option. I have dropped him, but it doesn't feel good.
I don't have any redraft shares, but I have a lot of dynasty. I have a lot of dynasty shares.
I hate myself. Any wide receivers that you're looking at picking up this week?
Two that roll right off. Tez Johnson is one.
Of course.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. Evans out for basically the entire rest of the season. Ibuka is still working his way back from the hamstring, was clearly, not 100%, probably not even 50% last night. Johnson looked really good. Should have had 2 touchdowns. Baker missed him on a clear open touchdown late in the game as well. So I think Tez Johnson's really nice. He's going to be kind of that guy that they look for downfield. We all know Baker loves to chuck it downfield as well. So I think Ibuka is going to play that possession receiver, intermediate, and then you're going to have Tez field stretcher there. And then the second one is Jalen Noel. And we were both fans of this Texans rookie class coming in, wide receivers, both of them. I thought it was going to be Higgins that grabbed the post-bye rookie bump. It was clearly not. And that wasn't for, on lack of his part. CJ Stroud missed them blatantly on three deep shots down the sideline. But that was really it for Higgins. There, he had a pretty bad holding penalty that negated a big play early in the game. And then he kind of was just running those out routes and those clear out routes on the outskirts of the field there. Meanwhile, you got Noel running all over the field, middle of the field, deep crossers, nice creative route tree. And with Nico Collins out, I'm not sure there's someone that I can think of that fits into a one-for-one replacement for Collins on that team. But Noel's pretty close because he runs a lot out of the slot. So does Nico. It looks really good at running those deep crossers. So I think Noel is kind of the guy you're going to want here. He's going to see a nice sizable bump in target share down the stretch, at least for however long Nico's out, suspected concussion. Sure, he's going to be out at least this week there. So I think Noel is probably the guy that I would really want out of this waiver cycle because I think that he probably has the highest ceiling there.
Yeah. The Texans piss me off. They're pissing me off. Like they're just a team that
offense.
I really thought that they would come back for the bye and not look like that. That was not at all what I was anticipating out of them. As far as listen, Josh Downs, if for some reason someone dropped him and he's around, I would have, kept him on my bench there. But if he returns, he's going to step back like into his role as the primary slot receiver. I don't think that there's a question about that. This offense is, listen, Jones is not jonesing. This offense is one of the most productive ones through these first 7 weeks here. And then before injury, we saw him have those back-to-back games with 7+ targets. So I think Josh Downs, if I'm able to find him somewhere, he's someone that I'm looking at. As far as a dump goes, are we getting rid of Keon Coleman?
It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to not look at him as someone who's entirely matchup dependent at this point.
Right.
I mean, it's really tough there. I'd struggle to dump any Bills skill position player at this point, but like especially Coleman, like as someone like they need to come back and look really solid. I'm just not quite sure. I think if you can, you're probably keeping him. If you need to dump a spot, he's definitely someone that I would probably look to dump because he's just not dependable. And this is always going to be a team that focuses the run first. He's very matchup dependent there. What's your feelings on Xavier Legette? Are we back here? We're back at this point. Andy Dalton.
Yeah, like if you have to be there, fine. Are we getting the Red Rocket this week? Is that what's going on?
I think we're getting Red Rocket for at least a couple weeks. At least a couple weeks. I mean, he's going to push the ball down the field a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just would rather I would rather that be a bump for T-Mac than anything else. Like
I do too, but I don't know if it will be.
I know. I guess if you want to pick up Legette, I don't know that I'm running to do that. I mean, this week is going to be the week where you maybe get desperate and he has to be a flex option for you. Fine. But
right.
I'm not sprinting. Are you sprinting? I don't know that I'm sprinting.
I don't think I would ever sprint to pick up Xavier Legette. Personally.
I love that. I love that coon eating SOB, but listen, I don't know. I don't know if like right now is what I need. It depends it depends the type of league and like where I'm at roster wise, I suppose.
Yeah. And then the last guy that I have on my list, obviously, where is your, I'm picking him up and I have to pick him up for Rondé Gadsden.
Okay. I'm glad you brought him up. First of all, that's not a fucking real name. Second of all, he did cash bets for us, so we like him. This is good. I think I'm picking him up, but I'm going to say some of this is definitely relative to game script, what we've seen in his production, I think. I am picking him up. Let me say that. I am picking him up. They're going to continue to need to throw the ball, especially with Hampton out. We're going to see that. It's Herbert, blah, 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 blah. But the Vikings haven't been like horrible. So if this week you don't get this crazy game out of him, also don't be shocked and don't get upset. So I think if you're picking him up, you need to be picking him up for more than just this week.
Oh yeah. I mean, Minnesota's not the worst defense against the tight ends. They have given up
middle of the pack
a little bit. Yeah. They have given up a little bit, given up just under 50 yards a game at the tight end position. Sure. They do give up a lot of receptions to the tight end. Could be very interesting there. It's going to be really interesting. I really like Gadsden coming into the season. I had him stashed on a lot of dynasty benches. I had, obviously I had no redraft shares prior to this week, but I mean, you kind of have to pay attention to this. This is an offense where the tight end does get utilized.
He's done enough in this match. Everything is there where it's like you can't.
Everything's trending up. Everything's ticked up in successive weeks. So we are there with Gadsden. I don't think he goes away. The question is just, is this too congested of an offense for him to get consistent work?
Right. And I'm sure this will come up more once we get into Thursday night football props. One tight end that I saw, I just want to say one thing quick. Can we please just get Mason Taylor going? This is not even the direction I was going to go. It is haunting me. I feel like he's my, I always have a player every year that I'm just waiting for them to just do what I want them to do. And it's just not going to happen.
Well, I think Woody Johnson is fed up alongside you. He wants Mason Taylor.
What was that quote? Well. What did he say? What was that quote? He was like, if only we could throw the ball.
If only we could stop throwing interceptions. Literally just threw your $40 million a year. If you don't like the guy, why don't you pay him $20 million a year? I mean, I mean, just go listen to your kids again. I don't know I wonder what his kids are saying.
Did you see that younger kid that they asked like how he was feeling with the Jets, and he's just like, I hate them. I'm gonna be a fan, but I hate them. I hate them so much. I feel like all Jets fans probably have to carry that sentiment. You know who I found on one of my waivers? I just wanted to mention in case someone else out there is listening. Loveland was there. When Komet got rolled out, we saw like he hit this like a bunch of season highs, 67% snaps played, 4 targets. It's nothing crazy. Another offense is kind of congested there, but I still think it's something if you're desperate and he's there, I think that the talent can rise to the top there towards the end of the season here, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Loveland fan. Obviously, I think that he was always going to be more of a project coming into this year, but definitely think there's room for him to kind of zoom up a little bit. I think we always knew that Tyler Warren was going to jump out to a quick start, much more polished product. Loveland was kind of just that raw athletic specimen type of player. And Caleb Williams is really not the quarterback to kind of nurture that right away. But I think if Kmet's out for an extended period of time, I think we could definitely see Loveland play a bigger role there.
To say something nice about my own team, Jaxson Dart.
Don't do it.
He's QB5 through his first 4 games. I'm just saying. I just want to let people know. If he's still there, I'm just letting you know. And they're not against.
He should not be on waiver wires.
He should not be on waiver wires. For some reason he is. Pick him the fuck up because he just shouldn't be the mobility upside there. And he's proven that against good defenses, he can be productive. Yeah. Anyone else that you want to pump or dump before we get into
I guess the one guy I have as kind of a very fringe, Parker Washington with a BTJ injury as well. They really liked him going into the season. Training camp was really good for him. I'm just not sure that he has anything other than a floor type of play. He's very, short yardage, intermediate underneath,
and the maybe waddle move and thing. There's guys like that where it's
you couldn't pay me to pick up a dolphin. You couldn't pay me to pick up a dolphin that's not named Devon Achane.
True, fine, whatever. That's fine. I'll take it. Be sure you guys hit the subscribe and like button. Before we talk about some of these listener questions, we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SMALLS for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SMALLS. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. It's available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. If the chat has any questions, they can throw some in there. The first one, well, we kind of talked about it. Brian O'Connor asked BConnor15, Jameson Williams, why? So we kind of talked about it here. It's just I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah. It really just kind of feels like if they need him, they put him into use. But if not, they're just happy to run the ball. They're just happy to throw to Amon-Ra. They're just happy to spread the ball around, and they just really don't need to do much else besides that at this point. I thought last night was a really good matchup for Williams against a very soft zone that had trouble covering basically every wide receiver. And after he got one catch called back on a penalty, just never went back to him. So he's just really boom or bust at this point. It's really tough to depend on him as a weekly guy right now. I'm looking to bench him wherever I can.
Next question is from David. He listens to the show all the time. We love David on the show. He says he has both Rice and Worthy. Start them both with the run the Chiefs are on. Thoughts, D-Lang. 1.
It's context based.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing Washington. If you're going to do it, this is a week that I'm fine with it. Washington's defense hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah, I think I would probably need more context there. Okay. If you have nobody else, I guess Worthy is worth it. He can always catch a deep one against, a bad defense like Washington. But like I said earlier, I don't know if there's anyone I really trust on this Chiefs offense to get more than, a few catches a week, except for Rice at this point, because I think everything's just going to funnel to him. Rice is going to be the guy that they look to for everything intermediate, everything underneath.
You just
And
said
that'll be
he has Waddle. It's Waddle or Worthy. Waddle has the Falcons D this week, if I'm not incorrect.
yeah. I think I would probably start. I think I would probably start Worthy there.
Yeah.
I just don't trust any Dolphins receiver right now. There's nobody you can trust.
That team is sketchy.
They're just extremely sketchy. And the Falcons are actually a good defense. Surprisingly good defense. But
yeah.
Like they're getting pressure. Tua just has no time to throw the ball. Here's the problem. If Tua doesn't have any time to throw the ball, he can't get it downfield to Waddle, who works best in that like 15 to 20 yard downfield range. And the Falcons, after spending all of 2024 not being able to touch the opposing quarterback, I think they had like 3 sacks. They've been one of the best pressure teams in the NFL this season. So it's impossible to trust any team against that pass rush right now, especially this Dolphins team. Just absolutely hopeless. I would start Worthy.
I'm going to grab one of these questions from the chat before we get into the next one, which I can't really see if I do that. Trade Odunze and JCM for Jettas and Hampton. I'm 5-1, but don't have a ton of RB depth.
Yeah, I think you can definitely do that. I would 100% have Jettas over Odunze every day of the week and Sunday. And then if you're able to make do,
yeah,
like if you're able to make do, and 5-1, I'm assuming I don't know if you're going to be 6-1 because the week ended and it was week 7, but I mean if you're 6-1, like you're able to have a lot of like leniency and leeway and just kind of scrape by and hope the rest of your team is able to make up for not having the running back depth until Hampton comes back. But I don't think Bill is what people thought he was going to be after they saw him, beat up on bad defenses. Like we just saw him play probably the worst defense in the league against running backs and the Cowboys, and he
31 yards
on 13 carries.
13 carries, 31 yards. Listen,
he's just
that was versus Dallas.
Yeah, it's just it's
55 like, playing. Do we know
what
is Jaden Daniels playing?
I don't think he's going to play now.
Okay.
I would doubt it. I would believe it's Mariota. But even so, we saw a lot of Chris Rodriguez, though it was late. But it's like I still don't think that this is a guy that you can trust, and he's no better than a bye week fill-in in that case. If he's a guy that you had that just has to fall into the end zone for him to be fantasy relevant, then he's no better than a Tony Pollard. Would you force a Tony? Would you trade Odunze and Tony Pollard for Jettas and Omari and Hampton? I probably would at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think once Hampton comes back, he just steps right into what he's doing. As long as he comes back in the next, 6 weeks, I think the coast is clear for him to be a massive playoff winner. I think at 6-1, that's a trade you have to make.
You also love Hampton, but I would make that trade. Yes. You're a Hampton guy.
I'm definitely a Hampton guy, but how am I going to turn down a clear wide receiver?
I'm saying I would make the trade. I wouldn't even think twice. Next question, actually, Bill is part of this one. It's Bill or J.K. Dobbins, I believe. Is that what it said? Yeah. I mean, we just talked about it. Bill just had 13 attempts for 31 yards versus Dallas. Where are you going with this situation here? Yeah. Are you going JK?
Let's see. Trying to think. Dobbins still is a very good player for me. Like he's still looking at being a guy that gets you, 70, 80 yards a game in this Denver offense. They haven't gone to Harvey quite yet. Despite the fact that they seem to just be very weird with their utilization around in the red zone, around the goal line with Dobbins, which I think is probably due to them not wanting him to take too many hard hits to like the leg and knee areas because of his past injuries there. I think he's still kind of the guy that you need in this situation. So I would take Dobbins in this.
Yeah,
in
I'm
this
playing
situation
Dobbins
too.
100%. David just asked, and then we'll get into some Thursday night football here. Super desperate in Dynasty this week. Red Rifle or Mariota?
Who's Washington playing? They're playing KC.
Yeah, KC's been pretty good against quarterbacks,
Yeah.
but
Let's see. Carolina is up against Buffalo. I mean, you can throw on Buffalo. They're not,
and they're at
really
home.
good there. Yeah, I think I would probably have Dalton there.
It's gross.
I very slightly Dalton. I'm not sure that Mariota's rushing upside is enough there. I think that he's just going to get absolutely ripped to shreds by Spags. This is probably another possible game like the Chiefs had against the Raiders last week. Like if we're being completely honest, they were just able to get nothing going there. No Terry again. No,
they are who we thought they were,
yeah.
Sam. They are who we thought they were. Don't
look at that. They called us madmen. They called us madmen.
It's too soon, but you guys, listen.
Hey, 3rd and 4th place, they have better odds than 1st and 2nd place do, and that at the halfway point is a win for us.
Interesting. It's all coming up, Steph and Sam. Before we get into some Thursday night football props, the Rhythm is crushing it in college football and NFL with picks and props. The NBA is back too. Rhythm is also giving away weekly prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win $1,000. I mentioned it the other day. One of the Rhythm's sharp under plays is Pelicans Grizzlies under 236.5 minus 105. My model predicts 234.3. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. I will give out my underdog slip for this game a little bit towards the end, but I don't want to give away some of my props. I will say I'm not just being dramatic. I do like a lot of the longest receptions in this game. And it's not just because that's only what I like. I have reasons for why I like them. But I will let you give out the first prop that you like.
All right. I'll start it off easy. This is the one I took pretty early this morning as soon as I saw it. Keenan Allen over 47.5 receiving yards. It's up to 49.5 now, but I would still probably play it up to like 52 or 53.
Sure.
We're not going to see 11 catches for 115 yards like we did last week. Obviously, like you said,
11 receptions. Crazy.
A ton of he threw the ball 55 times. So we're not going to have that again. That would be fun, but I don't think the Vikings are that good. But I do think Keenan Allen is still Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen has always been good against zone. The Vikings run the second most zone in the NFL, and Keenan ranked 13th out of about 150 wide receivers against zone entering last week. That number definitely went up after an 11-115 day there. So Keenan over 47.5 receiving yards. I know he hasn't done it a bunch this season, but kind of just have to, kind of ride the hot hand there. Again, this is not really a Quentin Johnston game against the heavy zone coverage there. Don't like to take him in those spots. So definitely for me, it is coming up all Keenan Allen.
I love it. Jordan Addison, while they are still setting this line on the lower side, we've seen it keep creeping up. Last week, it opened at 19.5. It's now 21.5 for his longest reception at minus 114. He's gone over this 2 of his last 3 starts this season. And when he's getting these catches, it's 34 yards, it's 81 yards. They're big catches. We've seen the Chargers' ability to give up these big plays here. Looking at what they've done. I mean, last week against the Colts, Alec Pierce had a catch for 48. Warren had 1 for 29. Dolphins game, Waddle 45. Ingold 22. Then the Commanders game, 22 to Debo. Luke McCaffrey had a 50-yard reception. So I like Addison to go over this 21.5. I also like Jefferson because he's gone over 30 plus yard reception in 4 of his last 5, but I don't like the number. So with guys like this, I'm just going right to the 30 plus, and it's sitting at plus 115.
I like that. I respect that. I think both of those guys are definitely threats there. The Jefferson number scares me a little bit, and I think it scares the general public too. I've seen it tick down from where it opened this morning at 27.5 to 25.5. But the Addison line, I'm probably going to be all over as well. One more longest reception I looked at, Lad McConkey. Another good spot there. I think, he's going to be kind of the guy that steps up in this case. When you need him to really kind of put one downfield, you go to McConkey, who I still think is probably the best wide receiver in this offense. It kind of cycles between him and QJ on who the guy downfield is going to be for them. So I do think Lad breaks one here. He's got a pretty decent matchup out of the slot there against Byron Murphy. So, we'll see there.
Yeah. QJ's was sitting at 20.5, which I still don't mind that either, to go over the 20.5 at -114. He's gone over this all but one game this season. I think they obviously eased him in a little bit there, but nice opportunity.
I think I would play a negative correlation on QJ under receptions.
I don't hate that.
Yards.
I don't hate that look at all. I think too, when I was looking at this, I'm like, we know Herbert's gonna throw the ball downfield. So I actually like Herbert's longest completions to go over 35.5, I think, at -115. I think that's a great play. He's gone over 5 of 7 games. Herbert led all QBs in pass attempts last week. They're throwing the fucking ball. So I think that's where, since I like all of these guys, I think my favorite play is to just play Herbert getting one over that 35.5.
Yep. You like Herbert over 35.5. I like Wentz over 35.5 longest. Okay. So we're taking them both. It's hitting all 4 games. It's hitting all 4 games that he started. And the Chargers have allowed 8 different players to have a 36+ yard catch. And it's gone over in 5 of 7 games against them. And the only 2 games that they didn't give up one were against Geno, who's really bad, and against Jaxson Dart, who was in his first start, running the football a ton with a big lead and playing without Malik Neighbors. So there's some things, there's some context here. Yeah. Also, Carson Wentz has the 2nd highest ADOT in the NFL right now. He's just throwing bombs down the field.
I know, but I just don't want to watch him play football anymore.
I get that, but since they're trying to soft bench JJ McCarthy, you're kind of forced to.
God. I also like the Herbert too. We also saw what Devontae Smith did last week and AJ Brown. So I think looking at these guys, there's not a lot that you won't get me to like as far as the receivers.
Yeah. This is shaping up to be such a chalky game from a betting perspective that there's no way it ends up.
That's why I texted you. I said, have we gotten a no touchdown game yet? Because just fucking watch it end up being that bullshit.
Yeah, I'll throw a no touchdown score, first touchdown score in there. So, but to wrap up mine, I'm gonna go with Wentz over 10.5 rushing yards as well. I haven't looked at this line in a couple hours, so I know, but he's over in 3 of his last 4 games. There's nothing you're gonna get the guy to run. He's always been willing to run. As a quarterback, and the Chargers ranked 2nd in scramble rate against this season. So, I think that we see a pretty healthy amount of Wentz running for his life, which is all things as they should be.
Love it. Before I get my last one out, random gut call is I think Herbert does throw an interception at +102. He's at the top of the leaderboard here in interceptions this season. I believe he's had 6. He had 2 against the Colts last week. The Vikings are just due. I know they haven't been good, but that is something they should be getting takeaways here with this Flores. This is what they do. So it's surprising that they haven't been doing a lot of that. And I think at +102, I like the sprinkle on in a primetime game with Herbert. As far as my last prop, I like Will the Thrill to go over 1.5 field goals made at -130. It felt like last week KOC was playing for field goals. at times. And I think it's because they know how great he is. He feels automatic here. Chargers, 5th most field goals per game in the league. It's like 2.1, 2 field goals basically per game. They're playing indoors. He's had 2 or more in 9 of his last 10, I believe the number is. So I like Will the Thrill to go over. Any last thoughts about this game?
Yeah, I really don't have anything else. I think we kind of
and like
what?
I'm like something tells me it's gonna be a Hawkinson game, but he just like hasn't looked right, and it's so hard for me to get behind it. I did put him in my underdog slip to go over the 32.5 receiving yards, but
yeah, I looked at that. I like the number, but he's burned me so much. I don't know. Maybe a receptions line. Because he's had a lot of like short receptions, 3.5, 4.5, something like that. So I think that'll probably be it.
This is where I landed for my pick'em entry. Herbert longest completion higher, 35.5. Jets higher, 12.5. First quarter receiving yards, and then TJ Hawkinson. I need some action on him. I went with it here in the higher 32.5 receiving yards. That gets you 7.21x. Your money seems like a nice number. I like sneaking in these first quarter numbers here. Use the code SMALLS, gets you.
You know what I can't wait for?
What?
I can't wait for the Vikings to activate Aaron Jones tomorrow afternoon and
I think they are, which is
why.
Yeah, which is why I was hesitant with some of this. I'll probably put out. Yeah. We'll see what his numbers are at. His receptions and maybe his anytime touchdown will be interesting. Yeah. Any final thoughts here before we get out of here?
Yeah, I can't help but think like this is one of those Thursday night football games that we think is going to be really good, and it just ends up turning out to be really, really bad. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's set up to be really good, but that's never a good sign. So we shall see.
Also, you were the only one last night when I tweeted. You know, it would be the funniest Super Bowl this season. What was it? Tell us, people.
It's easy. It's easy. It is Colts versus the Seahawks. It's Darnold versus Daniel Jones. Like it's. Can we say retard? Are we allowed to say?
Imagine.
It's just dunce versus dunce.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I just can't imagine like a funnier Super Bowl. Like if there was ever a Super Bowl that ended without a touchdown, it might be that one.
It would just be so fucking iconic here.
Like Darnold can't help it. Darnold can't help it. Like he reverts to being an idiot at like the funniest times. Like, and he did it multiple times last night. Wow, looking really good.
I'm so excited to see how the rest of the season goes.
Also, that Cooper Kupp interception was such a nice spiral.
Yeah.
Such a tight spiral. And it was just immediately an interception.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get out of here. Let people know where they can find you. Be sure you like, subscribe, rate, review, do all the things. There is going to be a scheduling change because I'm traveling once again. And I'll be traveling on Thursday. So we'll be doing the show. Just stay tuned for when that will be. It'll probably just be tomorrow at 6 p.m. But let people know where they can find you. And then let's get out of here.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Swagman95, just like it says down in the lower right there. A lot of fantasy football and sports betting stuff over at Prize Picks and Football Guys, and some more fun things to come.
Oh, yeah. All right. See you guys.
Steffi's Small Show, sports gambling. Play some bets on winners and catastrophe. If you want to know where to put the money, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday is the place to be.